Hey everyone, I just wanted to stop by real quick for this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Clouser, literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, yeah. Trying a new thing where I do just this over and over again. I say that whole little spiel like 3 or 4 different times and just like different like octaves, like hey, hi, what's up, what are you doing, what's going on, and I just picked the best one. Enjoy the clip.
Time to go home, buddy.
He's so little.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's so warm.
Oh my god.
It's okay. Ow! Ow!
Baby, let go! Oh my god!
Ow! Fuck!
Welcome to the John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What is going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show, episode 88? Yeah, this is the Tony Gonzalez episode of the Juan Solo Show. See how it kind of goes in hand. He's Hispanic. The host is Hispanic, even though he goes by the Juan Solo Show, but the host is John D. Clouser. What's up? That's me. It's insane how it all works. Dude, I've had to have told you guys the history of how I got. I don't know, actually. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story. So, well, sit down. I'll tell you guys a little bit of the story. So, when I was born in Honduras, San Pedro Sula, Honduras, in a little town off of the Puerto Cortes, which is the northeastern part of the island, or not the island, but the country. It has islands because there's a bunch of Caribbean little islands that are that we own. So half of us, we own half of them, and someone else, I want to say it's Haiti or something that owns the other half, or Cuba or something, because there's I want to say 23 islands, and we own half, and another country owns the other half, and so those ones are they're just random black island people, and so they're just Caribbean, so it's Caribbean people. And so it's just a random group of people that are part of that are Honduran. And I came from that area because we were a port city. And so I am one of No, I didn't. No, wait, I didn't smoke pot at all before this podcast. Anyway, so that I know of so far, I believe I'm 10 or 11 kids, and 2 that have only gotten out, or I say it's such a bad thing, but not gotten out, but are living in the United States. Myself, and then I have a younger sister as well. But my original name is Wilmar Juan Carlos Pinoco, and Wilmar, so basically Wilmer, but Wilmar. So you just make it sound cool. It sounds way cooler than saying Wilmer. I'd be yeah, Wilmer. What's your name? Wilmer. Or I could say Wilmar, which is so much better, and I prefer to say it like that. And then Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos is awesome. I love having that. The fact that it's my original middle name. It's such a fierce, and so what's the gallant? It's such a gallant name to have, and Tenoco. And so, but when I came to the States and I got adopted, it got changed to John David Clouser. Because my people who adopted me were really religious, and David, King David, Jews, that kind of thing. And what was so funny is that there was a moment there where my name was actually Daniel Jeffrey, and the reason why that was is because the people who adopted me when they were going through the whole process of adopting me, they were also going to adopt another boy as well. So I was going to have a brother, but I guess he had like a cleft lip or something like that, a cleft palate. I don't know what it was, something like that. And it was going to be a lot of surgeries and then a lot of just having to go back and forth from Honduras to like the States, and they didn't want to do that, and they were already going to adopt one, and so like I was fine. The only thing that was wrong with me is like I was just malnourished a little bit, so I just needed to get food, and like besides that, like I was pretty much good to go. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up that I say it like that, but that's how it was. It was just like, just fucking straight up luck. There was so much luck. What do you think about it? Like a fucking family from the United States comes to like Honduras, and they go to the orphanage that I happen to be at, and then like they're like, hey, well, there's that. Well, what's up with this one? And start, they picked me up like I'm a fucking dog, and it's weird. It is weird. It is incredibly weird. But am I incredibly grateful? Because if it wasn't for that shit, I wouldn't be here. You know how awesome and crazy that is that it all happened at one time. And the fact that it wasn't like I was, the people who adopted me are from Wisconsin, and I was living in like Little Rock, Arkansas. It was nothing like that. They were fucking two different places. It was insane. Like, how in the hell did like these two things come together, and then like this comes together with that, and it's just like, so woof, luck of the dice kind of thing. But yeah, and so then when I came to the States, they fucked up on the paperwork, I guess. And when I say it like that, like it's. They did fuck up the paperwork. So they thought that I was going to be Daniel Jeffrey, and the other kid was going to be John David. So technically, I wasn't even supposed to be John David. It was like I'm the kid with no name. I'm just walking around here with no names. And when like my parents like noticed the paperwork, they're going, no, we wanted him to be John David. And so then they had to go and they changed it again. And so then there was like a short time, just a couple months, that like my name technically, legally, if you had to show paperwork, was this paperwork that was like, hey, this is like pending paperwork until we get like the new paperwork kind of thing. It was like, it had like the name, height, then it was also like what it's being changed to and the reasoning behind it and all that stuff. It's just a lot of paperwork. To tell you the truth, just being adopted in itself is a lot of fucking paperwork. But yeah, I don't even know how did we get on this subject? How did we get on this subject? Like talking about names and the beginning of like the show name. I guess is kind of like where it all started. So yeah, this is episode 88. Episode 88. What day is it? Technically, it is now Saturday, October 30th. It's 12:38 a.m. in the evening time. I'm drinking here some natural ice. It's shit beer. It's shit beer. And it's so funny because like my friends, I'm in a group text with a group of my friends from high school, and they were talking. One of my friends took this picture. He's like, "Hey, I'm brewing my own beer, and like I don't know how much gravity I put in it, so it could be like a high alcohol content of like 7 proof, or it could just be like a 1%. We're gonna just roll the dice on this one and see." And I said, like, if it's not hams, I don't want. If it doesn't taste like hams, I don't want it. And it fell flat. It's so funny too. When I go back to my friends, like my high school friends, I'm not the funny one. I'm not the clever one. I'm not the loud person. Like, because I don't know. I think a lot of people think that doing things like this, sitting in front of a camera and then on the internet telling people, hey, you should go check out the show, and I post clips online, and I say like, hey, like you should go check out my stuff. I'm just like, yeah, because I'm just making dumb stuff, and I make other dumb voiceover stuff and put like some like nice cinematography underneath it, or nice cinematography to put like a weird voiceover over it or something like that, and then like for Craigslist misconnections, like just weird stories I find on Craigslist misconnections. I just do a voiceover of it, and then I just like post it online. It's like 30 seconds at most, 45 seconds. at most. Like, because the whole goal is to see if I can just make something that's a minute long. I just want to see if I can make a minute long short. And the thing is, if I can like somehow figure out that jux of it, if I can find like a story then I can probably find like the rhythm of a story. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing this. That is it is the dumbest reason why I'm doing a thing ever. So like what's so awesome is for me, I'm exploring and I'm investigating different ways to like make film. But the thing is, like, I'm making absolute dog shit right now in the meantime. So it's like just showing these like people, because I can almost guarantee someone who has never seen my profile, they click on it and they're like, what's this Craigslist misconnection thing this kid's doing? And they see it like, this doesn't make any sense at all because I don't even explain it. I explained it the first episode and I was like, hey, I'm going to just make this dumb thing. And it's basically these Craigslist misconnections. You ever go to it? And I just pick random cities. I started in Kansas City. Last week was New York. The week before that was Memphis. Like, it's just different cities. I will literally put Craigslist misconnections, and then I will just pick 2 random letters. I'll pick like an L and a V, like Las Vegas. Or I'll pick this past week. It was like an L. It was an A and an L, and it came to like Albany, New York. And then I just started finding like different like suburbs within that and like different stories, and that's how it all worked. It's the dumbest thing in the world, but for some reason I feel like if by doing it, I'm gonna become a better filmmaker. I don't know why. And again, so far, have I said anything that's made any sense at all? It's just a complete ramble. But isn't this whole podcast a fucking ramble? So what is it? Like I said, I was trying to get into this whole like. Whole thing about talking about how October 30th, tomorrow, Sunday, is Halloween. And Halloween is a that craziness. So there's 2 different avenues with Halloween now. Because like for me, I'm older. I'm 32. I'm getting on the back end of life now. I'm slowly like going away to the slaughters and to the pasture, and then I'm gonna chill there for a while, go up in the hills. Once we're in the hills, after that it's the slaughterhouse, and then we're done. And the whole ride is over. The whole ride is over. And what's so fucking hilarious too about that is that I had another friend. I had 3 friends. I had one friend have a baby. I had a friend who brewed beer, of course. So I guess I had 4 friends. A friend who had brewed beer. I had a friend who had a baby. I had another friend who had their 3rd baby, who's the same age as me. He's 30. No, he's a year younger than me. So he's 31. He's like 31. 30. He's probably like 30, almost 31. He turns 31 next month. So he's just under a year. He's like 11 months younger than me. He's just under a year younger than me. He was a class of Victoria, one of my best friends, lived up the street from me, loved the kid to death. He's on the 3rd kid, Catholic family. That makes sense, right? It makes total sense. And then I had a friend who just got engaged. Probably my oldest friend who got engaged. And it's just like the whole thing. I'm like, this is crazy. And it's always funny because like it's moments like this where like life it just stops and just fucking hits you in the face. For me it does. And I think maybe I really do feel like I feel it a little bit more, and it sounds really cliche. It sounds like this is gonna be a cheese moment right now. Or a douche chill moment. Let's call it that. They're called douche chill moments. When you look on what you're doing, and now you're happy with what you're doing, but what you're doing is not what probably the norm is, or it's not where a lot of people would think that you should be, or you would even be happy at being. Why would you be doing this? Like, why are you choosing this? And then I see them, and I'm like, this is so crazy. And it was so interesting, and especially with social medias, to watch a little bit of like these events occur, like the pregnancy, like finding out they're pregnant, announcing the pregnancy, like pictures, and then like my friend who is now engaged, how they met, that person, those 2 people, met, and they, started having dates, and they would post like stories and snaps and started doing like things together, and they found hobbies, and it's just interesting to see like wow, this is what life is. This is what it is. This is how it is. It's just a giant. You're just moving over and over. It's just a weird thing for me, and I feel like the reason why I feel like this is mostly because I fucking want to smoke a lot of pot. I'm not gonna lie to you. You think it's like some big philosophical, like I'm trying to be some deep person, like I'm like trying to be a philosopher person. No, it's because I just probably smoke a lot of pot. I'm like I get into the moment too much. I honestly do. I think that's really what it is. I really truly, but I also do things. I'm a filmmaker, and you should feel these moments, and you should feel these things, because these are what our stories. These are what you make that people will relate to. People will relate to meeting the person that they spend the rest of their life with, or the person who ends up asking them to marry them, and they spend forever with. You're gonna try to spend forever with, and or someone having their child. You think here, you're like, wow, like a lot of us are like, what would we do if we had one, let alone the third one? Like how harder would it be for you, or how harder is it for someone who just had like a third child versus like someone like thinking like, oh, the first child. I should probably have my friend on the podcast so I can talk. I should probably do a podcast with him and be like, hey dude, you want to sit? It would probably be a good baiting thing, because I would say like, hey dude, like you'd get away from your kids, your family for like, an hour and a half, drink a couple beers, just talk to me. Like I'm just curious on like how your life is, because we went two different paths, and it would just be cool to see that. And but yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know. This podcast is probably one of the weirder things. What is he doing? Like, what kind of fucking pot is this kid smoking? He's going down these fucking things. Like, why is he getting all sentimental and deep? He never talks about this. He's usually complaining about fucking like chopsticks or people not putting shampoo in their hair. Like, what's going on, John? No, it's just weird. It's just interesting. It's cool. I think it's part of growing up. As much as I hate like saying that, because I feel like one, it's cliche, but also I feel like it's also a place where I never really wanted to go. I never wanted to set sail. I never wanted my little ship, not to quote books or to quote short stories or anything like that, but I never really wanted my little like sailboat to sail here. And I think maybe that, like, sometimes I think about like, why do you think like that? And then you have to go back to your therapy. And I think about my therapy, and I'm just like, I think the reason why I think like that is because it has to do with the fact of like not having a sense of control. And I think a lot of us have that, not having a sense of control, especially with this whole like, COVID, or a breakup, or dealing with like a death, anything, or having your first kid or a third kid, or getting engaged, like asking the person you've been dating for a couple of years that you want to marry them. We all have those things. So yeah, and so it's just part of like, I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck I'm going now with this. I feel like I've gone too long with it, to tell you the goddamn truth. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna lie. And like, there was a little bit. I looked down. I'm like, oh, I'm like at 11:35, and I was like, oh shit, I have no idea what I'm talking about now. So tomorrow is Halloween, and really what I was trying to get at, the whole thing is like, I've never once ever liked dressing up for Halloween parties things. I've never done it. I hated it. I hated doing it in elementary. I remember doing it in elementary and middle school. Remember that, guys? I think we all did that. And we had parties, and then like they would have like costume contests. It's like, I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to dress up in this. I don't want to wear this. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm cool with just being here. I'm fine with just being here. Can I just do that? Can I just chill out and just not wear an outfit? And it's so weird because there's always I'm older now. I'm an adult, and my friends will have these parties, and I'll show up to them like, John, why are you just wearing jeans and a t-shirt? I'm like, I'm just wearing jeans and a t-shirt, man. I'm Jim Dean, or Jimmy Dean, or the guy who either made the sausages or the fucking actor. I don't know what the fuck his name is. And I'm that dude. And then I roll up my sleeve. I put I put some cigarettes in my sleeve and I roll it up and I'm like, fuck off. And I'm like, where's your goddamn cervezas, asshole? And then I just chill out. Not once. I'm like, but God forbid, but hey, I don't judge anybody. Wear your outfits. Wear your thing. Do your blackface. Now the funny thing is though, the big question though is, guys, this is the 30th. This is Halloween Eve. The real question is, who's going to dress them in blackface this year and ruin their whole career and their whole life? That's really the question. Because it happens every year. It happens all the time. All the time. And you think, in 2021, you'd at least Google it. You'd at least Google, what is blackface? If you've really never known what blackface is, you'd at least Google it. I think that's funny. Not at all. Not at all. Not one bit. But yeah, Halloween. Tomorrow is Halloween. I've never had any weird ghost experiences. I think I told you guys again, you do a solo podcast, you can only talk so much, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You see things, you observe them, you write them down, you hope that you can remember it enough that you can tell a story on it on a podcast. But besides that, my life stories, I only have one life, and I have to do I don't know how many of these fucking things I'm gonna do. Who knows? I'm at 88. You know how awesome it'd be for me to get 100? If I get 100 of these, that's cool. These are super easy to make, so I don't really feel like I'll stop after 100. Probably at 100, what I'll do is I'll at least upgrade a bunch, and then maybe bring someone aboard and help me when I film this, so I could be more on time, as well as have someone, or I could be sitting here and be like, all right, you can push record, all right, and we'd go, and I'd do my podcast. I'd do it then. That would probably be the only thing I would add to this whole little thing, because it's so easy to do, and probably change this whole little area right over here. I'd probably change this little area, move the flag over more, and get rid of that whole space right there, that whole fucking vanilla spot right there. But hey, teach calzone, right? But hope you guys are doing good. Yeah. Again, no ghosts. I never had really ghost things. The only ghost thing I ever had was I was setting up to do a podcast last night. This was a couple years ago. I was setting up to do a podcast, and I had my inbox, because I have it connected to the microphone. And once the inbox is turned on, the microphone is plugged in, and I have my earphones connected. It's on. You hear that tapping? Like that? I can hear that in my earphones. And so when I was doing that, I heard this small and then I turned the volume up, and then I heard some talking from the 1950s, from the World War II or something like that, or the 1940s, late 1940s, early 50s. And it was just this is a farm report. Hey, they were gonna do that, and that was the only thing. And I asked a couple of people, and I'm sure there's something that I can that there's an answer to it. I'm sure there is, and it's never happened since. So I don't know. It had to be probably one of these fluke things that I could hear someone on another floor, or there's another thing. There's probably a radio on, or something, or a documentary going on. There had to have been. Besides that, there really isn't anything. Apparently, this studio where I film in, it is, apparently there is a ghost on the third floor. I don't know. I feel I don't know if there is. What's up, buddy? I'm not here to hurt you. I'm chill. I'm chill. You've been chill. Neither one of us is really running into each other. So I feel he's probably dude, the guy's high all the time. I don't know what I'm gonna do like I don't like. I mean, like he's pretty chill. So I think I'm just gonna let him be. He's like he doesn't fuck with me. It's basically like I live in a room with a lion. Like the lion lives on one side, I live on the other. He's like the lion's like, hey, he doesn't come over here, I don't go over there, vice versa. I'm like, I don't go over there, he doesn't come over here, vice versa, and we just live our lives like that, like two fucking animals in the mist. So what I have about like four minutes and 40 seconds left on this podcast, right, guys? And so I guess we should probably do like the 2 minute drill that actually takes me like more like 4 minutes because I kind of do more of a long breakdown than I really should. But grab your beer, take a swig because I'm gonna try to get through this really, really quick. All right, technically I'm going to start with Monday Night Football. And the only reason I'm going to start with it, one, because Kansas City Chiefs, two, because I'm actually going to the game. So, hell yeah, cowabunga, dude, rock on. It is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New York Giants. Now, we all know Kansas City Chiefs have been kind of shitty this year. Very up and down. I think it's just because, hey, it's growing pains. This is going to happen. Teams are going to they're going to figure you out. So now what you got to do is you have to reinvent yourself. The third year. It's always usually the rule of threes. Like around the third year, you're going to have to reinvent yourself. It's always with the artist. That's what it has to do. Same thing with the filmmaker. Not as filmmaker, but also with the quarterback too. Within your third year, people are going to figure you out a little bit. So now you're going to be moving on to your second act into your career. Now basically what you're doing is like your first tier you reached was basically notoriety, knowing who you are. The next one the next step is becoming like consistent in what you are. And then once people figure out what that is, then like reinventing yourself, realizing that you can like you're the skater guy, and like what filmmakers do, like what I did, like I had long hair. I had super long hair, and I came off more like hang loose, what's up, like long flowing hair, and now it's short and cut. It's like no, now I'm different. It's a different look, different feel. Oh, different guy. Oh, it's basically a revamping of yourself. So you have to do that as a quarterback. But anyway, I only have 2.5 minutes left. Long on the Chiefs because I just love the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will win. I don't think they're going to win that much. I think they'll win by 3. So I'm going to say it's going to be a low-scoring game because the Chiefs are going to play down to the Giants because that's what the Chiefs do. The final score will be, let's do 15. Let's do what? Let's do what? 17-14 Chiefs. Yeah, they'll win by a field goal. Next game will be Jets versus Colts. I'm going to have to say Colts will win by 3. Jets will keep it close. I don't think they have their starting quarterback. I think he got hurt. Whatever his nuts is, that Mormon kid. Next game, Falcons versus Saints. This is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I'm going to say Falcons will win in overtime. They're going to win by a field goal. Next game, Browns versus Bengals. This is the game of the week that I was really, really excited to look for. I'm going to have to say, wait. Is that it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was thinking the Steelers played against the Browns, but they play against what? There's no way. I think they have to play. I thought the Browns played against the Steelers this week, but I could be wrong. I'm just wasting time now. Well, guess what, guys? I have like 48 seconds left. I'm not gonna fucking do that long ass thing I did last week. I'm gonna say Browns will win. Next game is the Cowboys versus the Broncos. Cowboys will win. Texans versus the Dolphins. Texans will win. Oh, that's why. I was looking at it wrong. Well, guys, I was looking at all this shit wrong. Well, anyway, I have like 14 seconds left. Yeah. This podcast is done. I finished it. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. I don't. It's up to you. Alright. Just have fun. Doing like that, just be safe. Don't eat candy from strangers, but you can on Halloween. It's weird. It's the one time when it's okay to eat candy from strangers, even though we've been told our whole lives not to. Alright.